Hello everyone and welcome back to Toulouse. We're with Airbus once again, but this is a special one because we are visiting with Swiss. And we're here to see their new A350, which is in the final assembly line. So that means we get another one of these super fun visits into the FAL here in Toulouse, but also we get to see that beautiful Swiss tail and the A350 that will be their first one within a matter of months. They're putting it into service this summer, late summer, I believe. And of course, we're gonna follow up with that and take one of its first flights and see it in action with full cabins installed and everything. But for now, we get to see it while it's in production, while it's getting put together, and look a little bit at this special new livery that they're putting on it. It's not on there yet. It's called Wanderlust. It's beautiful. I really love it. I love some of those Swiss special liveries they do. So we'll take a look at that, show you a bit of that. And beautiful day in Toulouse, which is often the case, but this is especially gorgeous. Nice to be back here with Airbus. Let's go to the FAL.
And the shape of the building. So you are in the unique A350 final assembly line, and this building was inaugurated in 2012 in order to start the assembly of the first A350s, those dedicated to the flight test campaign, the flight development aircraft.
All right, here we are in the final assembly line, A350s all around. I have to be a little bit careful not to show tails and registration numbers. It's a little bit unfortunate because it's really fun to see these tails on the, they paint the tails first, so you have that, and also the winglets, you have the logos, they're all done while the rest of the aircraft is just primer being manufactured, being constructed. They're in different phases of construction around here. We've done a video here before in the A350 final assembly line, which I'll stick a link to down below so you get a more sort of comprehensive look at this. We're doing a little tour now around the site, and then later on we're going to head to the station where the Swiss A350 is, and then we can film the vertical tailplane and those nice colors and all that. So yeah, that's coming soon. First, take a sort of general look here.
And those stations, I told you when we were on the ground floor, are dedicated to the preparation of the fuselage sections when we receive them here. First of all, the aim is to put protections on the floors already in the aircraft. They also installed temporary lights for the workers when they assemble the aircraft a bit later. But the main operation here is to load the monuments of the aircraft, so galleys, lavatories, and crew rest compartments. So we receive directly from the Beluga unloading area those sections on trolleys. They stay on trolleys all along the preparation, and if we do that at that moment, that's simply because it's more convenient. As you can see, all the sections are opened, and of course they save time doing those operations here at that moment. And when the operations are carried out, they move the sections on their trolleys by outside to bring them to the next step, station 50, where they start the assembly of the aircraft, as I told you, and they start the fuselage turn up. The center sections, like the one we have in front of us, come from northwest of France, Saint-Nazaire, with another part inside the center wing box, which is made by Airbus Atlantic, which is located near Saint-Nazaire in Nantes. Then we receive the forward sections from Saint-Nazaire, but actually the work sharing is a bit more complicated, as the cockpits are made by Airbus Atlantic, which is located in Méaulte, north of Paris, approximately for you, and the forward section of the fuselage is made in Hamburg. And we assemble the two parts together in Saint-Nazaire. That's why I told you that we received this part of the aircraft from Saint-Nazaire, but yeah, the work sharing is a bit more complicated actually.
It can often seem kind of complex that Airbus aircraft are assembled, manufactured in so many different places, so many different components coming from all over Europe and brought together at different final assembly lines. This is the only place where an A350 will get its final assembly, but that's not always the case. Other aircraft programs have various final assembly lines too, and pieces coming from all over. And one of the reasons for that, aside from it being a kind of pan-European project cooperation rooted in some political and economic considerations, is that Airbus at its sort of inception was a combination of several companies from around Europe who had particular expertise in manufacturing engineering. So it kind of has carried on from there. And it's something kind of interesting to learn about, actually. So why the red nose?
No, we're not on Christmas. That's not Rudolph, but just a protection, actually. Behind this red nose, actually, this is what we call the radome. Behind the radome, you have the weather radar. And the radome is made of glass fiber, so it's to protect the composite materials during the production. And could be yellow, green, blue, no matter. I think that red because, of course, like you can see, we also have protections on the doors, and they don't have to forget it when the aircraft is ready. Yeah.
So you'll notice as we look at these A350s that the cockpit section is in green, whereas most of the fuselage is in this kind of brown color. And the green signifies they've gone with aluminum for just that forward section where the cockpit is, both for having better resistance to impact from things like birds, as well as the fact that it is better at conducting lightning. And they just wanted to be extra safe around all that sensitive cockpit equipment to make sure that that forward section was sort of extra conductive. Of course, the rest of the aircraft is as well. They've installed a mesh inside of the carbon fiber to conduct electricity, but just a little bit of extra safety margin for that forward section. Alright, we are covered in PPE, special safety hats. We got the shoes, the FOD bag, and the vest. That means we're going to do something cool now. This is the Swiss A350 just behind here, and we're going to take a look around. We're going to get a little tour. Let's see what we see. I've done this once before, standing up here on this platform that takes you right up by the vertical stabilizer, the vertical tailplane, whatever you want to call it. The tail, which in this case is this beauty. Swiss cross, instantly recognizable. The rest of the aircraft you wouldn't know unless you knew the MSN, the serial number for the Swiss A350, which I believe this one is 737. That's the first one they're taking. Or is it the second one? I'm not sure. But anyway, it's so cool because we're up on top of the fuselage here, getting this kind of view above the whole aircraft looking down from the rear, which is really something that you never get to do. And yeah, tail is beautiful, but so is this perspective. How cool. And we're literally on top of it here. This platform specially designed so that people can walk around without compromising the fuselage in any way, without damaging it, basically. We're also strictly forbidden to touch the aircraft, which makes sense. If I'd ordered this multi-million-dollar aircraft, I wouldn't want people walking around and touching it either. Anyway, gorgeous. Just an amazing perspective to be right back there by the tail cone. So cool. So actually this one is MSN 748, which means I believe it's their second A350 that they're going to receive. There's one that's number 737, which is an earlier one, which I guess was done at a different station. This is P40A, one of the final assembly stations within this big final assembly line. And they said this is the first Swiss one they've done over here. These guys are responsible for this particular station, but I believe there's one other number 737 that will be the first one delivered. Gonna confirm all that and let you know down here in text or something if I got it wrong.
Welcome everyone here in Toulouse in the final assembly line of the A350, which is the place where we process the A350 in the world. I'm Louis Pontius Rochaud, responsible for the structural assembly of the aircraft, and I will share the main steps of the process here in Toulouse. So we do receive 3 sections. These sections coming from the US, from Montoire de Bretagne, and from Germany. We assemble them in Toulouse to make a cylinder, to make the fuselage. We call this step the orbital junction, using 10,000 rivets, riveted hand by hand in the P50 station. Once we have assembled the fuselage, we move the aircraft from the P50 station to the P40 station, which is the station behind me, which is the station where we really build structurally the aircraft. We first junction the 2 wings, then the main landing gears, then the pylons, and at the rear of the aircraft we junction the horizontal tailplane and the vertical tailplane. All these parts coming as well from Stade, from Rétafé, from Saint-Éloi downtown Toulouse, and different suppliers from the gears. Once the aircraft has been assembled in the P40 station, we jig it out to the next building and we go to the P30 station. The P30 station is the station where we make sure the aircraft movables act as defined. So we energize the aircraft with hydraulics, with electricity, and we test as well the air conditioning of the aircraft. We completed some fuselage elements on the belly fairing of the aircraft for the aerodynamics. We test the main landing gears in and out, and once we've done, we jig out again to the P18 station. At the P18 station, we have the fuel test. Okay, we fuel the aircraft, make sure there's no leakage. We pressurize the aircraft, make sure there's no leakage of air pressure inside the fuselage. And we calibrate the communication, the frequency communication with the control tower. After that, we go for the paint. We paint the entire aircraft, and we go to a next building for the cabin completion, where we finish the cabin. Because in terms of commercial installation, we start the commercial installation, the installation of the seats, the installation of the floor-to-floor, the installation of the overhead compartments, the installation of the galleys. All these elements are installed thanks to our cabin upstream process. So not only we assemble structurally the aircraft, but all along the flow that I have described previously, not only we make the aircraft, but also we start to assemble the cabin. Right now, this aircraft is mostly complete at that station. You can see it has his wings, his gears, the HTP, the VTP has been installed, the cabin is being installed, and it will jig out in a couple of days. You have the vertical tailplane installed, you have the horizontal tailplane installed, you have the wing installed, you have the pylons installed. You just need the tires. Physically, you see 4 tires left side, 4 tires right side, meaning it's a Dash 900 aircraft. Dash 900, we can carry from 300 person up to 350, and Dash 1000 we carry from 350 to 410 people. It's a bigger aircraft, but same premises, same assembly hall. And this Dash 1000 on the tarmac, 6 tires on each side.
Why does the vertical tailplane get painted early on?
So that you know that it's a Swiss plane.
So that we could come and film it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Nah, I mean, customers they do like to see where are their aircraft. So visually, here immediately you see at which step of the process you are.
So it's really aesthetic. It's not about industrial process.
No, it's also helpful when you have your boss coding. Where is my aircraft? It's in that station.
Okay, I found out for sure now. This is the second aircraft, and the first aircraft is already rolled out. This is about to go, actually, and it will get the next steps of the process. It'll be really a complete aircraft structurally together, but they need to go in and test all the moving parts, turn on the electricity, and then eventually it will go to the paint shop. Number 1 aircraft that's going to fly with the special Wanderlust livery has already been fully painted. We can't see that now, but we'll see it soon, and they're going to add those decals for the special livery soon. I've got some footage from them showing that livery and how it's going to look. It looks amazing. I can't wait to see it in real life. I think it's really nice. Swiss has a great tradition of doing these really cool special liveries that really celebrate Switzerland, various aspects of Switzerland, and this one apparently has everything from a marmot to Freddie Mercury on there. So that's super cool. It looks amazing, and I love all the meaning behind it, all the things you can notice if you look closely. So yeah, can't wait to see that in real life and hopefully fly on that one in the early days. That's going to be the second part of this, to actually do one of the first flights, hopefully the first flight, maybe even the delivery flight. Cross your fingers that we can join for that. We'll definitely keep you posted on that. So that was really a bit of a teaser for the Swiss A350. We got to see it almost done with its structural assembly, almost a real aircraft. Get to see that beautiful tail. It really is something iconic, that Swiss tail, and I can't wait to see them flying the A350 in service. We'll definitely be back for that, hopefully right at the beginning, maybe coming from here when they deliver it to Zurich for the first time and some of the first commercial services. I hope you enjoyed getting this little look at how they put together the A350 at this stage of the A350 production, and for me it's always super fun to be around anything to do with A350. So thanks for coming along, and make sure to subscribe. We'll definitely keep you posted when we're back with more from the Swiss A350 entry into service. Really big moment for Swiss in the coming months. You know, they say they're gonna basically reimagine everything about the service and product alongside the introduction of this aircraft, and then of course retrofit others too. So it'll be really cool to see that, and yeah, looking forward to it. So in Toulouse for Flight Radar 24, I'm Gabe Lee.